Hello, gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking about a little bit of match coverage, which is something that's a little abstract for some of you. I'm not going to do a super deep dive into this because it's kind of complicated, and if you guys want me to do that, it's going to be like a full-length 20-30 minute type video because there's a lot to talk about with match coverage. But what I'm going to show you is a few different good use cases for match coverage in this video against a formation like trips. But you can use match against whatever formation you want to. Now, we're going to use nickel over for this video, but the plays you're looking for in your own formation, and see if you have it, would be like a cover 4 quarters. When you have like the word quarters or the word palms, or you have like a cover 6, these are all match plays. But here's the thing, here's the catch. You have to hit right stick in now if you want to play match coverage. So you have to go D-pad up to go to the bottom of this coach adjustments, and you're going to see zone coverage. It's going to be on default. And if it's on default, let me show you what they do. You play a cover 4. What you're going to see, all they're going to do is just drop into their deep quarters of the field, which that's fine. Like, that's actually a pretty good defense. It's really hard to get beat over the top. But the thing is, sometimes you want match, because match is a really confusing defense to attack, because I wouldn't say it's random because that's not true, but it's random looking, and it just can confuse anybody on any given play. And a lot of people don't have like a lot of match beaters either, so it's really good to mix this in. So I'll be using cover 6 for this video against trips tight end. I'm also gonna man align. I think man align is great, especially in a man meta. It makes people think that it could potentially just be man across the board. And it's also just good versus trips because it's going to be hard for them to run inside zone or base. So just keep that in mind. I have man on. I also have zone coverage on match. And I'll be talking about cover 6 for this video. So cover 6. And then let's just go against a few plays. We'll start with PA slot corner. Just a real quick heads up before I get into the full breakdown. Just want to let you guys know that I dropped a free tool on acemadden.com, and it's the Playbooks database. Just go to the menu and click on Playbooks, or acemadden.com/playbooks, and then it'll show you all of the different playbooks in the game. So click on 49ers, for instance, has all their formations. And then if you want to see, for instance, what's in gun deuce close, you click that, it'll show you all the play art. And then if you want to see more specifically what playbooks have bench, dig, curl, you can click that and it'll show you all the different playbooks that do have this play. So check that out if you're interested. I'll post it in the description as well as the comment section. Now let's get into it. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just pinch our defense. So RB, left stick down. And by the way, I'm in nickel over. This is the Chiefs defensive playbook. Sorry if I forgot to mention that. So you're going to see that we have this kind of weird soft squat that goes from the left to the right. That's because we man aligned. That guy was technically supposed to be on the other side of the field, because when you play a zone, that's where he's going to be. He's not going to be lined up over the inside slot, but since we man align, that's where he is. So what I typically like to do is when I man align, I just like to man up the guy to the inside slot. So double tap Y, hit A, then right stick up, and then man him up to the guy he's across from. And then personally, I don't like getting beat by corner routes. So what I like to do in this case with match is shade outside. But let me make this very clear. When you're running match coverage, in most cases, do not shade up and do not shade down. And here's the reason. If you shade up, look at what the quarter flat does. He turns into a curl flat. So now we don't have that match principle over there with that slot cornerback. We just have a regular zone, the curl flat. And if you shade down, he's now a hard flat. And it's the same concept. There's no match principle. He's now playing a regular zone. And, that could easily compromise the integrity of our match. So I don't recommend doing it if you don't know what's going on. So reset the play, pinch our defense, man up this guy to the inside slot, and then I recommend shading out. And that's not going to ruin the integrity of your defense. It's going to play match pretty much across the board. We have like basically 4 defenders, 4.5 defenders defending the trip side. I count this guy as half because he's going to drop to about here and help on anything, around the trip side, because that's his responsibility as a 3-rec. There's 3 receivers to that side. So at this point, what are we going to do? let's just go ahead and just think about this objectively versus a trip set. And by the way, I'm sorry, I know it's like a kind of long-winded explanation, but you guys need to understand what's going on here and then where your weaknesses are. So we're going to leave the left side of the field pretty much the same. And then this guy over here, he's not a match zone. He's just a regular deep path, and he's just going to drop into this deep path part of the field. And again, that's okay. Like, that's not a big deal. The problem is if they don't motion a trips receiver over, this guy isn't super necessary, and I'll show you why. So let's go ahead and just like put him on a spy, for instance, just to show you this example. And then we'll play verticals. Well, look what happens here. So we get beat from the outside slot on the streak, but the main reason I wanted to show you this was go ahead and look at the inside slot. So this guy right here, he is on a really good man beating route. Notice how our man gets beat, but it doesn't matter because this inside quarter is going to play this crosser. And what that means is if we kept this safety in a deep half, we're now triple teaming one guy, and it just doesn't really make sense. Like, that part of the field is not really being threatened if they do not motion a receiver over. Like, yes, the tight end can run a streak or something, but again, I'll explain that, you know, when we do the full setup. So let's go ahead and man up to the inside slot again, shade outside. And then here's what I recommend doing. If they don't motion a receiver over from the trip side, man this guy up to the running back. If the running back blocks, all he's going to do is drop into a deep zone anyways. And if he goes out on a route, the route's covered. And then all we have to do is make sure the tight end doesn't run a streak or the tight end doesn't run a corner route. That's our responsibility. And everything else on the field should be pretty much bagged for the most part. You know, there's certain route combinations, of course, that can make things, get things like a little bit open, but overall, you know, they're going to play really good coverage. And in some cases, it's better than man coverage because the way match plays, it just sometimes they just kind of stick to them better than man coverage. So like, for instance, look at this. This guy's not manned up. This is a quarter flat. And look what he does. He plays his zone first, and then he realizes that this is his assignment, and he sticks to him the whole way. If this was regular man coverage, he could easily just beat him. So let's go ahead and look at that. Let's just man him up, man both slots up, and then let's just see what happens here. Let's see, does this guy get open? He doesn't really get super open, but he does get more separation than he had versus the match. So pinch your defense. This is what I recommend doing pretty much every single time versus a trip set is man align and then man up that inside slot and then shade outside. I recommend doing that pretty much every time. The rest you can get a little creative with. So for instance, let's say that you just really want to keep this deep half because you just don't want to defend that part of the field. Okay, fine. Well, what your solution is going to be is you're going to have to man this guy up to the running back and then blitz your user. Or, you know, you can man this guy up as well. He's just not going to do as good of a job. So that's why I recommend doing the edge defender. So, you know, you don't have both edges being attacked, but it's whatever. All we have to do is focus on the tight end, make sure he doesn't run a corner out, and everything else is just, it's pretty much bagged. And this is a really good play. Like, PA slot corner is a really good play. So let's look at it. Running back stays in. Edge defender will turn into a spy in this case. And, you know, if he wants to throw that corner route, be my guest, he's pretty much double teamed. And yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable throwing anything against this specific shell. And cover 6 isn't the only match coverage you can use. Again, this is a really like somewhat complex Madden topic and just football topic in general. Match is something that's very misunderstood in regards to what players are doing on the field. But if you guys want me to do a full breakdown on match coverage, I can do that. Let's just get this video to 200 likes and I will do my best to do a full breakdown on match coverage. But again, this is kind of something that I'd like to mix in versus trips tight end just to confuse somebody. Maybe it's like a 3rd and 12 and you've been playing a lot of cover 0 blitz and you just want to confuse them with a match coverage with a stock rush. I think this is a really good way to do it. But again, if they don't threaten you on the short side with a receiver, so they just keep it just like this, I would man this guy up to the running back. pretty much every time, because, you know, if he goes out on a route, let me pick a different play and show you where he goes out on a route. So let's do cover 6 again. If I can find it. There it is on the left. And then let's do like double in sail, right? So set it up the same way. Then man this guy up to the running back. And then remember, if we have no deep zone over there, the tight end could run a streak or a corner route and be open for a touchdown if we don't take him away. So that's what we're looking at. We're just reading the tight end, seeing what he does. Okay, he's going deep. He's attacking vertically. We take him away. And you're going to see that overall, everything does a pretty good job. So let's look at the safety and man up to the running back. He's going to get down here very quickly. Let's say he throws him right here. You know, he might get a completion for a couple yards, but that's about it. It's going to be the same case if he's on a wheel or whatever the case may be. So that's just a very brief way of using match coverage versus trips. And, you know, it's really good to mix in. So make sure you guys do that. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please drop a like if you did. Subscribe for more Madden 23 content. And as always, if you guys need additional help, acemadden.com. We have a really good offense and a defense up already. And if you become a member, then you get access to both. So make sure you use code ACE for 15% off at checkout. And that's going to be it. I'll see you guys tomorrow.